are faring well. It's been a little bit, hopefully not too long. I was just here last week after all, even if the author was a little late. And we still are having issues with that blasted restream program. Unfortunately, my Lily isn't quite here yet, but she should be joining me sooner than later. I'll give her just a quick poke. In the meanwhile, I have just a few quick, rather obvious announcements. And beyond that, I'm also eating some lemon cake. Then, as far as announcements goes, obviously next week is Christmas week. The 23rd falls on Monday, which has no real relevance, so the author should be streaming.
Hello.
And there's my lovely Lily. And there's me unmuted in Discord after having not unmuted in Discord. Once again, there's my lovely Lily. Punctual,
Hello.
as always.
Indeed.
She's only 3 minutes late. I can't really blame her. It's been a while since she's been on stream proper.
Oh, this one was waiting for you. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to say when you were starting.
That is what the currently streaming chat is for, and the moo ping.
Yes, well. No.
At any rate, as I was saying, next week is Christmas week. 23rd, which has no real relevance, is on Monday, and as such, the author should be streaming more XCOM, assuming he doesn't decide on something more Christmassy. Tuesday, the 24th, however, is Christmas Eve, so it is very likely that Frederick will be unable to join. As for Wednesday, it depends on some of my own plans. It's possible I may go out and be busy in the evening, in which case there won't be a stream. But, ironically, the Tuesday curse is the only hard thing that will be in effect, inasmuch as the bird will be unavailable. Likewise, the 31st is also a Tuesday, so it's very unlikely he'll be available then either. But the author should be available on the 30th.
The bird seems infrequently available.
True, but at least on those 2 days he has an excuse.
Uh-huh.
Holiday related as opposed to technical issues or timer issues or some other nonsense.
Bird issues. Many bird issues.
Yeah, you may have a piece of the lemon pie.
Thank you.
Now then, as far as the game we're playing tonight, Unforgiving, a Northern Hymn, there is not much I know or recollect about it, just that it's been around for a fair while, and there are aspects of it around longer than that, a demo or a prototype version or some such. and obviously that which is available on the store page. It is a first-person horror game heavily inspired by Swedish folklore and the Nordic mythology to create the nightmares has been haunting Swedish children for many generations or some such. I also have some tea. Tea. Beyond the Norse pantheon, I can't say I'm terribly familiar with Nordic mythology. So much of this will be alien to me, which I suppose means more things will be a bit of a shock depending on context as opposed to, oh, we're an X situation, so Y must appear. At any rate, the music has been stopped. I forgot to manage that when I stepped away. Give me just a moment to close out these pages. Oh, I do not wish to bookmark you. There we are. That's the pages exited out to free up some view. And let's get started. Are you able to pull up everything all right?
Yep, I've got sound and everything.
Very good. Now, while I did set things up, obviously, I'm only able to do so much in regards to sound balancing. So if anyone needs me to turn sound down or up or whatnot, just let me know. Although in this case we merely have a volume meter as opposed to a music and sound meter, so... We also have a strange figure playing violin in a dark pool. Ominous, but currently irrelevant.
Hallå, det är Lukas. Hej. En bit från stan, typ en timme från stugan kanske.
Series starts out kidnapped. Great.
Nej, försiktig. Du behöver inte oroa dig. Jag vet, men du kan man...
Certainly a way to come in.
Jag har varit där förr. Jag vet vad som behöver göras. Jag vet det. Men hur tror du det gick? Hon kämpade emot lite, men ja, jag fick med henne. Något åt det hållet, yes. Ta henne dit och... Men jag bryr mig faktiskt inte om vad han har att säga om det här. Jag har ingen aning, men något måste göras åt det här. Som jag sa, någonting måste göras åt det här. Jag kan inte fortsätta på samma sätt. Ja, klart som fan jag kan. Ja, man måste ju ta tag i det här, inte så att ni gör något. Ja. Det kommer funka. Jag har med mig allt som behövs.
This is why you don't take half measures when you've bound someone up.
Are you speaking from experience, Master?
Perhaps.
någonstans? Ja, du... Okej. Vad fan? Vad i helvete gjorde du det där för? Du har kraschat min bil.
Jag?
Alltså...
Vad fan håller du på med?
Jag kan inte fatta.
Fucking kidnappade mig!
Kidnappa dig.
Lukas, vad fan är det
Lin,
du
jag
håller
försökte
på med?
hjälpa dig. Vi var på väg.
It is oddly
Okej,
amusing
du hade inte
that
följt med om du
you
visste varför vi
kidnapped
skulle
me
dit.
in Swedish
inte
is
då?
you kidnapped me.
För att du... Därför att
I
du har
mean,
ett
that
problem.
surely isn't true.
Är du helt seriös?
Ja.
Ja, jag har ett problem. Du är mitt problem! Det här är mitt problem! Att vara fast i en skog mitt ute i ingenstans med min idiot till brorsa. Det är mitt jävla
Jag
problem!
ville bara hjälpa dig, men...
Du och din jävla hjälp kan ta och dra
Men-
åt helvete,
Det
Lukas!
spelar ingen roll nu. Okej, vi borde börja röra på oss.
Ja, gärna. Ju snabbare vi kommer härifrån, desto bättre.
If there is a mass sensitivity, I most certainly need to turn it up.
Yeah.
There we are.
Det fanns sista gången jag hjälper honom. Själviska jävel.
Jag hörde det där.
Bra, jag kan inte fatta att du gjorde det där. Kunde ju för fan ha dött. Fan vad mörkt det är.
Well, it does appear to be middle of the night, naturally dark. It also appears to be rather foggy.
Lukas, vänta. Förlåt att det blev så här. Jag vaknade och jag visste inte vart jag var. Jag blev så rädd och allt bara hände så fort.
Jag
Och
vet inte hur jag tänkte heller. Jag ville bara hjälpa dig med ditt beroende. Ja, först måste vi ta oss ur den här skogen, sen... ja, vi får prata om det när vi kommer hem. Okej.
okej.
Det här påminner mig om skogen på det där lägret på Galjan. Du vet, utanför den där sjön.
Örken.
Ja, du kommer ihåg det alltså?
Ja, jag får fortfarande mardrömmar om spökvandringen på det lägret.
Vad fan var det?
Well, that's never a good sign.
Vi borde verkligen ta oss härifrån. Häråt.
Hur vet du det? Strömmen kan ju ha fört oss hur långt som helst.
Alla de där åren på scoutlägren här, vet du. Lärde mig någonting i alla fall.
Lungs are the least of your worries at the moment.
They are the most of my worries. That sound was very alarming.
Skorgana, ancient and old in lands of ice and of cold. The forests hide darkness most foul. None get caught in the night, with no heat and no light. All creatures for your flesh will prowl. Well, that's rather simplistic.
Nu är du väl glad att vi var på alla de där scoutlägren, här?
Jag kommer vara glad när vi kommer ut ur den här
Get
skogen.
lost in the woods tonight and something leads you. You don't say. Strange branch of new saplings.
Var försiktig. Oj. Jag håller ju lampan. Så... du först. Oh jävlar! Vad fan är det som har gjort det? Åh fy fan vad det stinker. Shit vad det luktar.
Really anything could have done that. I suppose that is quite unfortunate placement. Quite a lot of these pseudo statues as well. Well, at least now we're able to start seeing the stars.
Jaha. Och nu då? Ska vi gå tillbaks?
Ja, vi får väl... Vänta. Där. Ser du det där trädet?
Well, on the bright side, you potentially wash your hands off.
Jag testar först då.
Okej, kör.
Fortsätt vidare du. Gå, jag hittar en annan väg.
I'm sure that'll do great. Swimmingly, one might even say. You're not going to find some other way just standing there, Lucas.
Lukas! Jag kan inte följa floden längre!
Fan också. Vad ska vi gå tillbaka?
Nej men det fanns ingen väg där heller! Jag måste fortsätta här!
Jag följer floden här. Försök hitta en väg över längre fram. Lycka till.
It's always, always a good sign when the game tells you how to run.
Yeah, it's never indicative of anything terrible. It's just right like receiving lots of health and ammo all of a sudden.
Meanwhile, some signs of civilization. And something glowing in green. Well, whatever this is, we aren't able to interact with it. It is a wonderful jump. Yes, alright. Well, hello there. Alright, Mosquito Man. Delightful. Like we'll need to find some new sort of fuse before we can get that working. That should theoretically take us across the river. The question being if this is meant to be a map or a story. Seen things like these before, but also I'm unsure how I'm meant to interpret it. One of the dolls we saw pinned to a tree. The Holy Duty. Divine sacrifice. I'm sure we're in a safe place. Am I able to flip through these pages and I know? Part of me assumes that this thing is made from some sort of iron and has at least a similar effect on attempting to ward off the Fae as in other cultures. Though I've noticed it's also roughly the same shape as the save symbol.
Right.
That is a interesting crouch walk. Well, goodbye then. And all the wiggly wobbly in the small room and today. I'm sure that has some sort of significance. No idea what it is, but certainly it can't be a good thing to see some sort of stranger playing a violin in the middle of the night around a glowing patch of mushrooms. So hello there.
Sounds
Hope you're
very
faring well.
vague. Also, hello.
Well, unfortunately and predictably, still quite near Cordis. The drowned spirit. The drowning ghost, trapped in a marsh, protects the territory around its body. Those who come too close will be possessed and destroyed in horrific ways. Well, I suppose that's fair. Fortunately, we still have a little bit of marsh left to go through, it seems. Well, there appears to be a glow over there, but given the way it's dipping in and out, that's almost certainly not Lucas. This is some rather old tracks. And with a skull on it, isn't that promising? Not that our intrepid protagonist appears to have anything to say on the matter. Well, to be fair, our hands are covered in blood, but I can only suppose that might be a troll. I was just looking at that hole in the ceiling, wondering if something would pop through it, and lo and behold. Well, on the bright side, the moon is out. On the downside, that means it'll likely be able to see us as well. Not entirely sure I'm meant to have been able to come over here. So at this point we have thoroughly lost sight of the train tracks. I stand corrected. I don't believe the developers meant to see us seeing it go like that. On the bright side, trolls aren't exactly the stealthiest of creatures. On the downside, while we most certainly can run, we do not quite have anywhere to hide. Another shed, if partly sunk. Well, look on the bright side, you didn't end up wrist deep in maggots and deer. Hillenberg and a telephone. Well, it seems odd that a telephone would be marked this deep into the woods, but fair, I suppose. Gives us a secondary reason to go in this direction, and that is a lot of water towers. Well, there are usually this many water towers in Sweden, because that seems like a lot of water towers to have in one area.
No, that seems very odd. I wouldn't expect them to be quite so concentrated.
There's 7 of them. Unfortunately, the main path forward appears to be a little stopped up. Who decided to put the sound of a motor or whatever it is in this? That's not scary, that's just annoying. Well, we've made it past the field of water towers. Into another bog. Another couple of these things. Still have no idea what they're for. Perhaps they're meant to be similar to will-o'-the-wisps. That's a new and ominous sound. Could be marking borders, or perhaps it's something to do with the harps that were allegedly meant to get later. Or perhaps there's just quote-unquote natural lighting. Yes, this is certainly a great direction to be going towards. Straight towards the snarling and crunching. What could go wrong? Well, alright. Whatever it is, even appears to be crying. That makes it so much better. Just... Well, alrighty then. What were we being chased by? Who knows? Were we actually being chased? Who knows? Well, on the bright side, we found booze. Also just appears to have been a troll.
Vad fan var det där?
Jag vet inte, jag såg den innan också. Den här skogen är full av såna saker.
Vi måste röra oss vidare.
Well, alright. Into the cave it is.
Okej, kör.
How generous. Yet another pit to fall into. You appear to be walking towards something, not I can tell you what. The direction we are now running towards something.
Snabbare! Vi kommer närmare!
Unfortunately, Lucas, I don't have to outrun the troll, I just have to outrun you.
Kom igen! Skynda! Över bron! Stanna inte!
Lukas! Nej, 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 nej,
How about we don't? Well, on the bright side, I suppose this is better than getting eaten by a troll. Unfortunate. Well, the choice has been taken. You're also unfortunately bereft of a flashlight now. Quarantine, high risk of infection. Because on top of trolls and monsters and cults, what we need is some sort of pandemic. Guardian, alright, sure, why not? Another one of those domes. Knocking. By the altar, the wrath of Freya awoke, and she conjured fire from her wrath, and burned his eyes and hands, so he could never play the magic harp again. Well, clearly that didn't seem to have taken. Why can I examine these bottles? Boys find large footprints in the forest. What does the rest of it say? Who knows? Learn Swedish. I don't know if someone could screenshot this and translate it.
It's unfortunate they don't give you a translation.
The large man. Well, isn't that a creative name? The large man who resides in the woods is ferocious and very dangerous. However, he is very easy to spot and to hear because of his large body and clumsy footsteps. With some buttons with runes on them. And another story. You appear to be missing some chapters. I haven't the foggiest how to pronounce that, so I'm just going to call this Gengare. A thirst for your soul, devouring whole, lusting for pain for the past. You'll know its face well, but only time will tell if tonight just might be your last. Thank you, although that tells me absolutely nothing about what this thing might do. And another one of these. Why exactly do you want the woman with soulless eyes and a black void mouth? All of the harp, clock tower, at least we have a proper map now. Phone, guardian, blacksmith, storage, little ones of Freya, drawbridge. Well, in theory, we should be heading straight down here. But we likely will have to contend with much else around here. Can't stop dreaming. Forgive me for not dreaming about women who are half snail. Whoever lives here really needs to learn how to do dishes.
Jag har inte sett henne tidigare. Hon är annorlunda från de andra.
Can't say I expected a ghost woman to yip at me once I opened up a outhouse, but alright. I would if I could, little one. Meanwhile, there's someone inside a tree. Delightful. But we are bereft of the matches as well as of any form of light, so. Actually, it looks like there's more things in here. It's just too dark to practically see.
Mycket vackrare än henne. Han kommer aldrig vilja ha henne.
Not something we want to hear from a ghost. Or whatever it may be. Look, lady, we aren't here for your man. We just want to get home, so if you would kindly fuck off. Well, now we have matches at least. Evil fairy tales as opposed to standard fairy tales. Helge Sandberg's collection of fairy tales about the evils that fall upon the ones that made Sweden's most evil beings. I'm sure that's not foreshadowing in the slightest.
Ragnar, är du där? Du måste komma till Helberg. Vi förlorade många, men vi hittade trygghet här. Här är vi säkra. Här kan de inte hitta oss. Gå mot ljuset, till gruvan. Och över sjön. Väktaren har nyckeln. Spela vår låt så skickar Rune över båten till dig. Kom till ljuset.
Well, not the phone we wanted, and it leads us towards civilization of a sort. Reminds me of amnesia. He wants to keep me. Should probably take a screenshot of that weaving back in the Guardian's house. More of these horses, I assume they have some sort of meaning. Ragnar, play our song so we know it's you. The key to the drawbridge and the gate is with the Guardian. But also there's a picture of a gear for some reason. Very crackly.
Den gyllene som väver såna melodier du inte skulle tro vara möjliga.
Well, thank you, person sealed inside the tray. I was going to say, it sounds like we have need of a harp. Well, good news and bad news. We have a form of light. Although you look to be holding some sort of a candle, so I suppose that works out well enough. I don't believe she's happy about us getting out.
Såna vackra toner. Vart tog det vägen?
People getting turned into trees. Lovely. Either way, we continue to head towards the clock tower. Well, alright. The vanishing of Roof Alkvist, new leads. Cry out to the public. It's everywhere. She being what it is. The feats and achievements of Grimner. A scientific and detailed review of the great feats of Grimner throughout history. Whoever that is. Miss Gidaran. Darna? However you wish to pronounce this. They watched and protected, but never detected, that poisonous evil within. Centuries kept hidden, gilded power forbidden. Now lost and abused due to man's woeful sin. Looks like it's meant to represent a dragon of some sort. Still doesn't quite tell us what it's meant to be. If the trees started speaking to you, I wouldn't quite want to, play in the forest either. Another image of that woman. It seems like Morley may have seen better days. a glowing sigil. And some notes. Or runes, rather. Well, we may as well take a look at the blacksmith while we're here. Well, alright. Whatever people lived here certainly had some sort of bad luck when it came to a local creature.
Dömda. Och är alla dömda i mörkret. I djupet. Evigheter. Kommer vandra där tills världen är död.
Well, we can certainly attempt to avoid that fate. Woman found walking naked in the forest. At first I thought it was my roof. And then more Swedish that we can't read, and someone is free to translate for me. Talks about a date. Talks about Anna Alkvist, who is either the same woman or related to the one that we saw an article about earlier. So clearly that is related. Not a whole lot at a blacksmith, but I suppose we at least picked up the cable of some variety. Well, if whatever's turning people into trees then do the blacksmith in the landslide may very well have. Not much of a clock, but I do suppose there's a bell. At any rate, there appear to be buildings to the north and south, and then from there... Although I do wonder where that door leads.
Monster. Vad var det där för någonting? Djävular från helvetets djup. Hur kom de hit?
Not one, but two, but three of those portraits. It seems to have been something of a librarian. Skogsra. Wild and fair, with silken hair, you're still filling your heart with fear. There's no way to fight that venomous bite. Your blood will root as end draws near. Well, that seems to be the thing that's lurking about, at least. Question being how literal that bite is. And whether or not she has a hollow space in her back. More of these little rune tokens. Runic writing. Well, alright. Another one of these tablets. Actually, this appears to be the same one. Part of me wants to say that's a dowsing rod, but that's not a dowsing rod. I'm not sure what that is. Church of Gulafors burned ablaze. Escapee from a SOP sanatorium captured. So many books, so little time. If they can see me, don't come in. Someone had a very bad time in here. The cultists were misled. Color me shocked. More skittering rats. Hopefully. There's also a very thin book. A locket of some sort. Swedish Jenga, perhaps. Alright, there we have two places to go. Forwards towards the drawbridge, which we do have the key to. And the little one's the Freya, which I assume to be some sort of an orphanage. There's also storage and whatever's up there. May as well go over to the presumed orphanage first. Something scraping against metal is always a little bit concerning.
Kom inte från mörkret. Från ingenstans. Barnen. Alla tagna. Barnen.
Well, for better and for worse, that means the orphanage is likely quite abandoned. A cinnamon bun recipe. Well, alright. Again, someone is free to translate that. A yo-yo, perhaps. Again, with that same symbol on it. At minimum, our exploration is being rewarded with more matches. I do like that. Like how when you're running, she holds up a hand in order to try and protect the match.
That's a nice touch.
Or we can only hope it was rats. Here comes the night. Little goat. That would be the normal person's cue to get out. Gesundheit. You're not so little good, I didn't mean to pick your toys. Mommy doesn't believe me, but I saw him. Wonder if they mean the troll, or if it's some other entity. Well, alright then. At any rate, it looks like the paths connect at least. Saves me a bit of trouble. Can expect a fancy antechamber in one of these huts. A very odd painting to have in your house. Hidden Worlds 1. There's some speculation about whether or not there are other worlds and dimensions. Worlds where the rules of our world do not apply. Reality spread thin over the branches of Yggdrasil. And also there are laughing women scraping knives together for some reason. Dead cows found in pen. Svensson found entire herd lifeless. Tragic.
gömde och ljög. Det finns inget över vattnet, över bron. Hitta den.
Exactly how is it hidden if you have a spot marked on your on the map specifically for where the harp is? Belt is broken. There's a new one at the blacksmith. Well, good news. Because of theft, the cabinet is locked. The key is with the guardian. Well, good news. Start the gasoline and power first. Just what we ever needed. An ominous, singing, naked woman with some sort of gash in her back in the moonlight.
That sounds fine.
Det här händer inte. Det här händer inte. Det är en dröm. Bara en mardröm. Det här är inte möjligt. Inte möjligt.
Well, bad news, friend. You're a tree now. You have any words? No. Alright.
Vi försökte hjälpa. Gömde. Men i slutändan kom de för oss alla.
Hur kunde det här hända? Vi gjorde allt. Och han förstörde det. Det är hans fel.
All of the harp. Then we'll come back after we take a look at the other location. Or at least, what's allegedly in that direction.
Vi skulle skydda alla. Allt. Vi misslyckades. Nu är vi alla dömda.
Well, perhaps a nice woodsman will come and cut you all down one day. Torvald can't find the frame of the hidden song. Rune. Odin's chosen. The Norns. By the roots of the tree they dwell, the three that spin the threads of life. Some call them witches, while others claim they're fair maidens from the giants. They who powerfully weave all our destinies. Others just get really annoying and do the quest as quickly as possible so that the roots shut up. That pun worked better in my head. I don't know, it's those almost look like copper. Right, we are. Here's about. I don't actually believe we went up towards that door area. We'll have to go back by there on our way returning. We actually likely. We also likely bypass the storage area as well, so both areas to pick up on our way back. Roof Alkvist found dead. The body was found with scratch marks around face, specifically around the eyes. Once again, someone is free to translate this. Medicinal plants, tinctures and decoctions. Detailed description of herbs in the Swedish woods and their usage. Excuse me. I am stuck. There we are. Evidently, they did not expect you to be standing exactly there when opening that. Freya, in stories untold, with long hair of gold, she walked with grace and might. Her magic flowed wild through the world as she smiled on creation and made it shine bright. Why are all of these written as limericks? I don't have anything against limericks, I just feel it odd that they're all written as limericks.
It's not exactly a traditional thing for the region, I don't think.
The key. The harp was formed from Yggdrasil itself, inserted with magical gold and carved with holy runes. The dwarves gave the harp to Freya, who picked strands from her golden hair and used them as strings, so the magic could flow through the powerful instrument. To be fair for the person who thought they were being watched, having lots of pictures of eyeballs is not going to help that notion. Dreadful, kids. Twisted and bent, your flesh will be spent when that whore gives her vile kiss. Fixed to the ground, forever there bound. A quick, easy death would seem such bliss. Congratulations, you're free now. Some sort of effective shush, I suppose. Certainly abandoned for quite a long time, given all the appealing wallpaper. Really, it's impressive that so many electronics, or at least the power and lighting, still function. The guide in the dark. The spirit who leads the wanderer in the dark, Nyctagub, can have both good and evil intent. They can lead wanderers out of the dark, but also into an early death. Johan Larsson, Ruth Edvitst. The power of the runes. Hun sacrificed himself and suffered for knowledge about the runes, the powerful symbols with which humans can bend reality. Assumed that the stones and powerful places which channel their powers can be found. I believe you meant assuming, not assumed. Not close enough. But there does not appear to be a harp in sight. At least not yet. I don't recall seeing a staircase, but I may have just missed it in the dark. These two lamps are woefully insufficient to light this room. Why would again, I somewhat understand the person who thought they were being watched all the time. Same newspapers dry. And I believe these are the same runes as were back on the clock tower. And that same crackling power as before. And a new rune on the wall. Power is not usually given freely, after all. Well, alright. See, circle the wave. Actually, that wave isn't one of the notes that we can play. That rune in particular. How do I stop? No. Must have missed a note at some point in there. Up P, down P, up P, Y. Right, well, that's our cue to go another direction. Well, at least she appears to have distracted herself with a tree.
Hon kommer. Hon kommer. Ingenstans i världen. Jag kan
Well, it would be great if I could... It would be great if I could pull the drawbridge back.
Nu har du sett kraften som strömmar, som forsar genom världen. Nu vet du. Känner du det flöda?
Storage, that's great. How do I get into storage? Not a whole lot in storage, but I suppose there are at least more matches.
Nyckel och lås, nyckel och lås. Som en nyckel passar det du bär på in. Jag minns att det var så. En gång i alla fall. För länge sedan. Ett öga. En tunga. Din broder behöver dem ändå inte.
Excuse me. Well, alright. Suppose we have a bit of a trek on our hands.
Stenen i mitten. Det du bär. Melodi. Nej, vänta.
Jag har fått smaka på de här tonerna.
Det passar så
Länge sedan. Vad är det för något? Vad är det?
Well, technically I had put that thing back, but... My apologies, Lucas. Reaches right in there. Well, I suppose that's one way to go about it, yes. Appear to be stuck again. Great. Yes, excuse me, if you could come and free me from this spot of trees. Oh, there we are. Oh, almost. There we are. There are other notes after all. Questioning how we actually go about playing those. Let's go to double check the map. See, the Guardian have that photo, which we'll likely need to take a look at again. And then, of course, we need to go down by the telephone where the dock is. Unfortunately for us, a certain someone is also running around in that direction. Well, over there, at any rate. Right, Trable, if you could perhaps just close that door for me. No? Alright. Oh, I suppose these two are actually songs that I can play. In which case, they likely relate to the thing on the dock, although this is probably what I'll have to play later. Is that either the ones that's on there? No, that's a difference. That... No, that does have the same notes. Go with an S. F to B. S I. P up. Well, that didn't do anything in this particular instance. Well, that's unfortunate. Scripted events. Gotta love them. I am curious as to this third one, though. Want to try that one from the house once more. If I can pull up the screenshot. At least now we're no longer being chased, we're just on a fast track to becoming a tree. See, why would you close it after I put it up? Still nothing. We'll see if that's relevant later. Well, we're away from the tree woman and towards the cult. What could go wrong? Especially since they think we're one of their friends and we're holding some sort of Nordic artifact. Well, they appear to have put the lights out. That's not a great sign.
Aj, aj, aj. Stackars lilla flicka. Det ser ut som att det smärtar. Men det är ingenting mot plågorna som nalkas. Jag skulle kunna lindra ditt lidande. Det du bär på. Om du skulle kunna skänka mig harpan. Far till den andra sidan och ge den till mig. Så ser jag till att du blir skonad från det som annars väntar dig. Om jag vore du skulle jag inte vänta för länge.
Well, that's not ominous at all. I suppose it gives us something of an out, but I doubt whatever belongs the heart to will want us just giving it to whatever that is. Somewhat surprised as no one actually meet us at the dock. Then again, it looks like there's already more trees here. With their own set of bites. Are these crouch tunnels just standard in these things? The curse. When she's given her sharp kiss, the poison spreads in the bloodstream and rots the soul, twisting one's bones so they sink into the earth. At last, you transform into an unholy tree, forget who you are, and become hers forever. Right, not entirely sure why we did that, but alright.
Han må spela förtrollande, men melodin som kommer spela vid världens undergång kommer flöda från hans instrument. Det är han som tog hit det, han som tog med sig mörkret.
Quite relevant, but if there's another one we would need to play out. Oh, hello there.
Bakgrunden väntar genom dimman i huvudet där de vakar. Du hittar den andra sidan där. Genom fördömda gångar som slingrar genom mörkret kommer du ut på andra sidan.
Well, alright. So, I'll need to find yet another 2 rooms. Let's see. Well, that was a sound from somewhere. You can only assume that may have been a giant. Do you think he climbed the wall, or if he's just kept in here as a deterrent?
Who could say?
He probably could have, but we are not asking. In hindsight, having musical instruments as a method of entry is a bit of a problem when you have someone chasing around. Also, the music needs to tone itself down just a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of abrasive.
Up,
Gonna lie.
circle down, circle P. What were you expecting? It's a hole. You saw it coming. Actually got 2 achievements for that. One for simply surviving the Swedish forest, and another for doing so without dying. Although we appear to be a bit on a fast track. Just have to make sure they know we're here.
Very considerate of you.
Don't get lost. Don't get lost. Don't get lost. How helpful. The punished. They can hear you. They were imprisoned deep underneath the ground, their souls warped. They succumbed to evil altogether. In the dark their eyes withered, and they learned to listen to the whispers of the mountain. Beloved, Carl will bring you this since I can't. Take care of yourself. Forever yours, E.B. Wonder if whatever's in here is what happened to the children. Dad says we'll go home soon, yes, wait about. These lackeys of the Norns. Aziz, the female spirit of the dead, is a slave to fate. They're under the influence of the Norns, carry out their wicked will, and see to it that the threads of life are spun as the three desire. Hello, strange, glowing home. That's mildly ominous. Suppose that does confirm, yes, the children were brought here for whatever reason. Debatable as to whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. Looks like I'll just have to tuck by you two sooner than later. Remember, all spare parts are kept in storage. Well, we're not going back to regular storage, so we'll see about that. We'll have to turn this on in order to lower that down, presumably to get the other gate open. Question being where exactly storage is. I suppose that answers that question. Excuse us, madam.
Allt är okej nu. Allt är okej, mamma. Jag är här.
Well, I have good news and bad news. Both of them are related to, let's just, help both of you pass on.
Gör det inte. Snälla sluta.
Do you care to offer an alternative, madam?
Snälla, gör det inte.
Looks like we don't have a choice in this matter, at least. Alright, let's have a look at the other staircase. The cure. She fell deeply in love with the false god, and his corruption flowed through her, giving him influence over her and her powers, which he controls by his own will. Well, that might explain the man with the violin promising us a way out. Well, alright. Ah. Well, correction, I'm not sure about that particular gate, but we do need to lower that down in order to get to one of the sigils. Well, let's see if our putting on a hand on this does anything new. Alright. I'm not going to touch or comment on it. Well, at a minimum, regardless of whatever these are, at least they're casting some sort of ambient form of light to help us. In case you didn't find or burned your way through the vast majority of matches. A cloud of razor blades. The Nashram is a creature with sharp claws and an outermost dangerous beak that can be very dangerous, specifically in large numbers. It's something to worry about once we're outside the caves, I presume. Is that it? Did I miss a turn? Ah, yes, there we are. Upon soft gilded strings, a caress and it sings. You'll feel the force it can wield, but a magic that flows, and the music it grows, and soon there'll be none for whom it'll yield. Why do I have to crouch through that tunnel? We alright? Be careful regarding the holes. Understood. This is quite a lengthy way to run these cables. I have a feeling that Bobby is no longer with us. They who walk in between, half dead and half alive, they dwell, forsaken in deep and hidden places, in the areas where the veil between worlds are at its thinnest. In this case, weird glowing holes in some caves in the forest. Labyrinths and rituals in Scandinavia. Historical depictions, of Nordic labyrinths and rituals around them. Professor Cairn Aurelius. Are weird, long, thin books like this common in Sweden? At any rate, we have a long trek back, and I can imagine that the things sensitive to sounds might not be terribly happy with us. Or maybe we'll deal with the zombies that pop out the walls. Alright, that's fair. And back through the water, in which we heard something moving around in earlier. I see, Buckers. And we're back to the main cave. Right now, we had to move further into the mine. Be careful. Hopefully you bothered leaving at least one of these with some gas in it. There we are. The Fall of the False God. The false god saw how lovely Freya was and fell for her beauty. He made plans to play his violin for her, charming her with his magic. However, Freya saw right through his ruse.
Not clear what the ruse was.
Aside from claiming to have been a god, I suppose. Adventures of the Mountain King. Follow long adventures deep into the holes of the Mountain King. Sure. And back up the long stairs. I didn't actually see the other end of this.
Vänta.
Excuse me.
Gör inte något. Gör inte. Det måste finnas ett annat sätt. Tänk om mitt barn.
I'll be honest, I did not expect that to be what the gasoline was for. I thought we were going to put it in there. Then again, I suppose there wasn't exactly anywhere to put the gasoline in. At least you'll be with your child on the other side. As opposed to being trees that gradually forget they were once people.
Gör inte. Snälla, nej. Nej.
Certainly an old way for a tree to burn. Never go swimming in caves unless you are trained to do so, and whoever seem to help you. Of course, there's a hole in storage, and I'm sure as soon as I grab what I need, something will reach through. Well, apparently they ate Bobby. They ate Bobby. Hidden worlds, too. There are theories that among the world's victors, there exists an underworld, a purgatory, a place where humans have to contemplate prior choices and atone for their sins. A cave that looks like an Iron Maiden with teeth and a tongue looks somewhat ominous. Perhaps we're in the underworld then. Which is to say, perhaps we never made it out of that river. Sedan. Chill down your spine when you cross that thin line. Your mind might just break and shatter. Right is wrong, wrong is right. But in that strange twisted night, who you are and where will not matter. Part of me just assumes that refers to the underworld period, but who knows? Well, that's probably made quite a lot of noise. I'm trying to tell if that's the sound of something padding around. That's definitely the sound of some form of cursed children. Well, that's not exactly fair. If they can just walk around it, yes, yes. Well, there's more of them. Delightful. Why are there arrows? How far down did this blasted thing fall? They appear to have formed tails. And there's one watching up there as well. Looks like we'll have to go still further down as well. You did mention the fact that their eyesight might not be as good, but the question is whether or not they are completely blind. Well, alrighty. That's entirely fair. Perhaps we have some form of life system. I do wonder whether or not that was an inevitability, though. Seems we were more or less set up for failure in that regard, though. Even just holding still, the thing effectively starts sniffing us out and drew closer, so... Certainly far deeper in the tunnels and in a very different place. Oh, sorry, I suppose these are trolls. Don't make a peep, cause footsteps will creep. If you make just the tiniest sound, the sharp claws and dead eyes and the dark, tortured cries mingle with gleeful shrieks all around. The fate of the unforgivable. The Norns wasn't... Someone needed to go over this translation with a fine-tooth comb. Some humans were punished for their rotten souls in a form of purgatory, and had to suffer through their worst nightmare over and over again until the Norns was satisfied. Followed by break it. Break it. Another book on the punished. And a lot more of these tin cans. I was going to say, I guarantee they can hear that. Given everything I'm sneaking through, again, I definitely feel that that death may have been scripted. Not that was quite a death, considering the fact that we're not quite dead, but... There are a bunch of those things nearby. Try not to go gasping about. I need to make it over there. Not sure this gives us a proper way around, but at least it's a side way direct. This is a moment for a review. At least one of them has started patrolling up there. I wonder if they set up all these tin cans themselves, or if something else did. Appears to be the bottom of that, and there's the room that we need to do. Wonder what's up that other path then. They're hungry. They whisper. The false god banished to our world. The false god tried to steal the instrument. However, in his infinite wisdom, Odin cast the false god out of Asgard. This way, the false god could not shape reality after his own desires and doom us all. Another one of these doors. Unforgiving. The choices that we make can our very soul break, will be judged by the dead and living. The twists and turns of life, like cuts from a sharpened knife, relentlessly and endlessly unforgiving. Well, not like we've had a whole lot of choices we could actually make in here, but... Well, your mother may have stopped crying because she became a tree. Excuse me. There we go. Well, the trolls didn't quite seem to like that. A lot of tin cans. How many blasted tin cans do people set up? Is there no way out but through the tin cans? Yes, I do recall it being otherwise. Oh, I know, yes, there we are. How did they get up and down out of this area before this fell? Oh, that's just me. Well, fortunately it appears they're afraid of the door to the underworld. Delightful. Either that or the moment we play this, they're going to tear into us. Well, alrighty then. I'd really rather not.
Well, come on, what's the worst thing about it?
There are a lot of drugs on this platform. A lot of drugs.
Drugs would explain a lot of this.
Burden. For his love he got scorn, eye ripped and tongue torn, pain and suffering till his last breath. Body crushed and degraded, life slipping unaided. A terrible fate worse than death. Well, I mean, considering the alternative was being eaten alive and or turned into a tree, I'd say getting crushed to death was... it could have been worse.
waiting for something? What's going on?
Sorry, what?
I said, are you waiting for something?
I'm waiting to see if something different will happen.
Nothing seems to be happening.
Oh, so it appears that the infection is spreading quietly apart. I'll give it one more match's worth. Well, alright then.
Ja. Ja. Vilken duktig flicka du har visat dig att vara. Du lyckades ta dig ända hit till mig. Och nu kan jag äntligen besitta den. Den gyllene. Jag kan se giftet flöda genom ditt blod. Men som jag har lovat ska jag avsluta ditt lidande. Allt jag ber om i utbyte är det du bär på. Den gyllene. Ja. Ge den till mig. Sådär. Ja. Ja. Det återstår såklart ett litet hinder. Du tog dig hit. Duktig flicka. Men nu måste du komma ut igen. Om du kan.
Well, alright. I had
I
assumed I was still
suppose
in a
the encounter
cutscene.
started. Yeah.
Well, there goes my death-free run.
part of the town.
That, developers, is one of the times you would flash press something to run.
Yeah.
Känner du igen dig, min duktiga flicka? Har du kanske bevittnat det här förut? Att se dig lida gång på gång är sannoliken en fager syn. Den här stunden är den vackraste när du fortfarande minns. Innan glömskan tar dig och du återigen kommer till mig. Så att vi kan leka. Igen och igen. Just så. Fina flicka. Sparka din stackars broder som du aldrig trodde att du skulle få se igen. Kom. Gör det. Kom till mig.
Well, I suppose she won't be getting out of that anytime soon.
Seems not. Certainly far from a positive end.
Given there was an achievement for getting out of the forest without dying, I'd imagine there's one for getting out of the underworld without dying. Which makes that last bit just a little bit more irritating. But it was certainly a fascinating game.
It was certainly interesting.
I do appreciate the descriptions of some of the creatures that we encountered. Although obviously there's a fair amount we neglected to get.
Yeah.
I do still question why they were in Limerick, but so it goes. A short but interesting little game. Missing almost half of the so-called chapter, so that's... You only have 3 out of 16 achievements. Yes, one was to complete the underworld without dying, so... And one for completing the full game without dying, but... Well, apparently there's some sort of puzzle to complete to find some artwork, visiting all the houses in the village. I did neglect to go to that one locked area. Collect all pages of poetry, finding the 3 billy goats gruff. I wonder if there were many fridges, or if there were the 3, there were 2 goats I found in the orphanage. There's also one for dying 10 times. One for dropping 20 matches, and one that should be very quick and simple enough to take care of. Maxing out the slider.
Oh wait, there's an achievement for maxing the brightness?
Correct.
Okay, how weird.
There's also one called Notes from the Past, find where it all began, which seems interesting. Maybe with another playthrough, just to try and pick up everything I can, but that's not something I'll be doing on stream. With all of that, my thanks to everyone who popped in, such as Theo, and of course my lovely Lily for being here with me.
You're welcome.
It's such a good girl. She needs to be observed more often.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Just as a reminder, the author should be streaming next Monday, but it's unlikely that the bird will be streaming on Tuesday, and I probably won't be streaming on Wednesday, but given most of the festivities will be over by then, I may. Heaven knows what I might play. There is at least one Amnesia mod based on Christmas, which is a little cheesy, but we'll see. Beyond that, my thanks to everyone, and for the time being, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Although you have about a week until then, but you're not going to see me until then.
It's close enough.
Indeed.
Happy holidays. Good night.
Stay well, stay safe, and stay well fit.